One day, the Fat Controller brought some people to see the railway. He showed them everything. They travelled in the trains and looked at the stations and bridges and coaches. Yes, they would say thoughtfully, we'll take this, or no, we won't take that. They made notes in their books. Peter Sam whispered to Sir Handel.
Men came and did that on our old line.
And then,
Said Sir Handel,
soon afterwards, it was
sold.
finished Peter Sam mournfully. Peter Sam didn't sing anymore. He wanted to cry. The other engines were sad too. What's the matter with you all? His driver asked him one day. You look like dying ducks.
We don't want to be sold,
Said Peter Sam miserably. Sold? The driver was surprised her. Who to?
to those people who came and talked about taking things.
You silly little engine, laughed his driver. They're not going to buy us. They're going to take our pictures on television. And he tried to explain what that meant.
Not going to be sold, not going to be sold.
Sang Peter Sam. He could hardly wait to tell the others. He told them about the television as well. They were pleased and excited too. All except Sir Handel.
I don't hold with it.
He grumbled.
Vulgar, I call it. Fancy traipsing about, making an exhibition of yourselves. I won't do it. I tell the Fat Controller, come here. I'll tell him something.
Skarloey said nothing. He just grinned at Peter Sam. But next day, when the Fat Controller did come to explain about the television, Sir Handel kept strangely quiet. No, said the Fat Controller at last. I want everyone to take part.
I don't feel well,
Quivered Sir Handel. You poor engine, said the Fat Controller gravely. You can stay in the shed. Sir Handel smiled proudly. Your driver and fireman shall take you to pieces. That will make a very interesting picture. Sir Handel's feelings were beyond words. That's that, said the Fat Controller. Now, Skarloey, will you take the coaches? Yes, please, sir. I was hoping you would let me. Duncan shall have a goods train, while Rusty, with the workmen, can show us how we mend the line.
Please, sir, what about me, sir?
Asked Peter Sam anxiously. The Fat Controller smiled. You, Peter Sam, shall pull the special television train.
Oh, sir,
Bubbled Peter Sam in ecstasy. The television men built towers for cameras beside the line. They put cameras on the trucks and filled the van with wires and instruments. Another truck was coupled behind, carrying aerials and generators. Everyone practiced hard until they knew just what they had to do. At last the time came and the announcer gave the signal.
We're on the air, we're on the air.
Puffed Peter Sam, and he rolled the heavy train to the shops. Where Sir Handel was being mended. Sir Handel did not enjoy their visit.
We're on the air, we're on the air.
Chanted Peter Sam. He trundled over the bridge near the middle station.
Peep, peep,
He whistled to Duncan.
we're coming.
The announcer talked to Duncan, and then they puffed over the second bridge to the siding, where Rusty and the men were waiting to explain about their work. Peter Sam whistled Rusty Toot in reply, and they clattered along. Plummeted over the viaduct near the waterfall, and rolled at last into the top station. That controller climbed down. We have arranged for television to let everyone see our little old engine. We are proud of him, 95 years old and good as new. There's nothing like him anywhere. 3 cheers for Skarloey! Peep, 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 whistled Peter Sam, and everyone joined in. Skarloey smiled. I'm very glad to be home again. Thank you, sir, and all for your nice surprise. Now I'll surprise you. Listen, when I was mended in England, I found my twin. The Fat Controller was startled. Is there really another engine? Yes, sir, chuckled Skarloey. There is. Another engine came to be mended too, called Talyllyn. When the workmen saw us together, they laughed and called us their little old twins. Talyllyn told me about his railway. It is a lovely one at Talyllyn in Wales. Well, sir, they mended us both and sent us home, but I often think of Talyllyn. He's 95 years old too, just like me. Please go to see him, all of you, and wish him dry rails and good runnings from Skarloey, his little old twin.